You are now tuned in to the Urban Therapy Show, your sanctuary for sound and soul. I am DJ Therapy, your guide on this journey to inner greatness. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. I appreciate you for rocking out with me, and I won't hold you any longer because the gems I have for you today, honey, they got to be released because self love, self care, and peace protection are like the ultimate goals when you're elevating and really coming into your own in life. So, we're going to take a deep dive into those and we're going to just really dissect some topics that are really plaguing us as people to be able to effectively communicate our emotions with others. The first deep dive that I want to get into with you guys is going to be around self love. This is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I often would ask myself, why is it that we can give out so much love? We can let I love you roll off the tongue so easy. We can just be basically doormats for other people behind the word love. But when it comes to ourselves, we neglect to give ourselves that same level of love that we're pushing out to everyone else. Why is that? Have you if you're one that's always giving, if you're one that's always pushing out the love, but when you look at that reflection in the mirror looking back at you, you can't totally feel the same in return. This is a show for you. This is a show you need to have your pen and paper out and take notes on. Self love is your root. It's the root from which everything in your life grows. It is your core. And it's going to be about you recognizing that that reflection that you see in that mirror is not to reflect sorrow. It's not to reflect pain. It's not to reflect disappointment. It's not to reflect poverty. But when you look in the mirror, look at your reflection as a reflection of a face of resilience. Start to begin to view yourself differently and not view yourself through the lenses of other people. See, I know that was a lot in just a little bit, but it's going to get deeper than that. What I mean by that last tidbit there, not to see your reflection through the eyes of other people, is that we internalize a lot as people. We carry a lot of baggage, dead weight with us that a lot of us don't realize we still are carrying around because the method of suppression is real. And you can suppress something to the point you can't forget about it, and to the point where it's like, okay, I've dealt with it, but you really haven't dealt with that thing. And you'll find that out in life as you start to go through life that you really haven't dealt with certain situations and that you're really not at the place that you want to be because you have that baggage that you tried to just suppress. What we're going to put it as is that baggage, the old clothes that you put up in the Ziploc bag and the vacuum seal bag, and you want to put away until the next winter come, maybe your winter clothes, or you want to recycle your clothes. This is what you're doing with your baggage. But the thing about it, you keep adding on top of it. You're not clearing out. You're not trying to get rid of the old. You're trying to keep everything. So with you trying to keep everything, it's causing an overload of the wrong things to cloud your vision, to fog up that mirror to where you can't properly see the real face looking back at you. You got to start to draw little squiggly lines to take away the steam off the mirror to actually see yourself. And if you're at that point, you can survive and reel it back in. You're not too far gone. You see, the purpose of in creating the urban therapy show is not everyone wants to go and see a therapist. Not everyone wants to go and lay on that couch and just spill out all their feelings and thoughts to a complete stranger that really knows nothing about them. Urban Therapy Show is about self healing, self awareness, self love, self growth. A lot of us are strong enough to self heal and to take ourselves through that journey, but we just need the guidance and the tools to equip us to do so. Because to be quite honest with you, I wasn't the one that wanted to go lay on somebody's couch and spill out all of my feelings and all of my woes to someone that really didn't know me. I didn't see myself as that person, but I saw myself as someone that needed help. I saw myself as someone that was stuck. So, what I began to do, what helped me to start to begin to self heal without seeking out professional help. And the first thing that I did that's going to be on a bullet point that I want you to write down, and that is self forgiveness. Oh, I hope I'm not stepping on any toes with that one. Yes, you have to forgive yourself. And I guess you're going to say, you know what, DJ Therapy, I don't have anything to forgive myself for. Yes, you do. And if you're saying you don't have anything to forgive yourself for, then this might not be the show or segment for you. Because we're never perfect. We're never at a place of perfection. We're always at a place in a room to grow in our lives. And this is what is always going to be about here on the Urban Therapy Show. You see, self-forgiveness is going to allow you to start to release those chains that have you just shackled from the past mistakes. And it's going to be able to allow you to start to live a more liberated and free future, a more liberated and free version of yourself. Self-forgiveness is the most important thing. This is why I put it first. Even though we're talking about self-love, you have to forgive yourself first. Because if you do not forgive yourself, you're not going to be able to release what? That baggage. You're not going to be able to release what? Those chains that seem to be weighing you down, that seems to have you trying to clear this fog and smoke and steam off your mirrors, off your glass, so that you can really see some type of reflection of yourself. So you have to be able to self-forgive yourself. You have to be able to say, you know what? I've made a mistake. I've made mistakes in life. And you got to understand that your mistakes do not define you. You have to be able to implement and own your mistakes so that you can get past that roadblock and being truly the better version of yourself. So the first thing I want you to do in this, and our first bullet point that I want you to capture is self-forgiveness. If you guys have caught my other earlier two shows that I've made prior to this one, you're going to hear me talk about the release. I'm big on the release. The release is something that is a requirement in this journey of self-awareness, self-healing, self-love, self-growth. You're going to have to release, because the release is going to be the most important part in any self-awareness journey that you're going to partake in. So after you have forgiven yourself, this is where you can now begin to have the positive self-talks. Now you see how we're connecting the dots? Because remember when I said, when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing the true self. You're not seeing that reflection you want to see. You're not seeing that face of resilience. But this is how you get to be able to see the face of your resilience, is by one, forgiving yourself. Now, two, you got to now reinforce that forgiveness by talking positive to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're worth it. Tell yourself, my mistakes do not define me. Whatever it is that you have to positively tell yourself every day when you wake up and greet yourself in that mirror, do it. Don't put it off for the next day. Don't wait for outsiders to give you something positive to run on. You fill up your cup first. Because when your cup is filled up, you're not going to have room for anybody else to come try to fill it up with the negativity and the BS that you don't want. Because again, we are protecting our peace. And there is nothing more precious than your peace. Let nothing come between you and your peace. So you have to forgive yourself. Then, after forgiving yourself, you want to begin the positive self talks. When you start to positively talk to yourself, you're going to start to see a change. The change of that inner critic of yourself, that critic is going to now become your inner coach. Instead of you criticizing every time you look at yourself in the mirror or criticize everything that you do, you're going to now begin to start coaching yourself. This is the key to being able to self-heal, turning that inner critic into your inner coach and keeping that inner coach all the way to the top of the surface, letting nothing come to break down that coach. I hope that you guys are catching it. I know that was a lot that I just threw out there. I have one more bullet point, and before I dive into this bullet point to tie this self-love in together, I'm just going to go ahead and spin another beat so we can just really start to let these things seep in, start to really navigate the inner workings of our soul, and understanding that it's okay to forgive ourselves. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to own our mistakes. It's okay to release any obligation you feel to those mistakes. Because once you do that, then now, like I said, you can now begin to positively talk to yourself. You know what? I just thought about it. I'm not going to kick the beat because I don't want to break this flow we got going on. So I'm just going to go right into it. The next third thing that helped me to be able to really get to the ultimate place of self-love, and that is understanding that you have to have a passion for pursuit. Now, what I mean by that? Well, you have to align your daily actions with your deepest desires. Mm, mm-mm. First, you got to figure out what your deepest desires are, because a lot of us don't know that. And how can you know that if you haven't learned to properly love yourself, if you haven't learned to forgive yourself, if you haven't learned to coach yourself through positive self-talks? You're not going to understand your passion for pursuit. You're not going to understand how to align your actions daily with your desires. You need to understand that daily you are a work in progress. You can't just turn it on and turn it off when you want to. So again, and I'm going to keep reiterating and I'm going to keep going over it. I don't care if you got 50 million notes in your notepad, because I'm stuck at these 3 bullet points. I am stuck at these 3 bullet points, and I'm really just spending the time on these 3 because they really are the foundation. They really are the workings of you really becoming the better, best version of yourself possible. You have to forgive yourself. Now, once you understand that your forgiveness of yourself is valid, begin to reinforce that by positively talking to yourself and becoming an inner coach of yourself instead of an inner critic. And then once you do that, you're able to begin to align your daily actions with your deepest desires. And that is going to allow you to understand that your passion for pursuit is endless, it's relentless, and nothing's going to come between you and what you desire, and nothing's going to come between you and your peace. So, those are the three main bullet points I have to kick off this show. Yes, now we're going to kick off a beat. And when we come back, we're going to be diving deeper and deeper until we got our minds right. You guys are tuned into the Urban Therapy Show, your sanctuary for sound and soul. I am DJ Therapy, your guide to inner greatness.